I'm happy to see a lot of CETNs over here talking on a very good subject. I am also a CETN. Before starting, I will just ask the young generation over sitting on the back side. We have talked about sustainability, we talked about climate impact, right? Did you understand it? Did you understand the importance of sustainability, climate change impacts? I want to hear a big yes. They are all sleeping after the lunch. Again, I am asking you, I want to hear from you a yes. No yes. This is just a wake-up call, okay? I thought you will wake up with this. But whatever we are doing here is a wake-up call to the next generation. Anyway. Most of the presenters talked about the climate impact. We are actually in an era of global boiling. As Varghese sir said, we are boiling, okay? We are in an era of boiling. These are the recent figures from the temperatures, the ambient temperatures all over the world. See, India is at 44.5 degree. Last year, 2023, July, was the highest global temperature in a century. Okay, and it is going to go up again. So the record is broken, temperature hit new highs. Why we as a world, we as a humanity fail to comply with our promises. All the governments in 2015, there was a slide shown by Dr. Shibu. In 2015, Paris Agreement was signed by so many world leaders, except Trump, I think. But so many world leaders signed a 2015 Paris Agreement for controlling the temperature, the global warming, to limit it to 1.5 degrees centigrade, Celsius. That is being shown by Shibu. Thanks to Shibu, Dr. Shibu, for showing all those clips of Kerala. You know how our God's own country is transforming. You can see, we have seen those pictures. This is also a wake-up call for all of you. Unfortunately, see what is happening to the world. 60% of the world's population will live in cities by 2030. There is a huge migration happening from the rural areas to cities. So 60% of the global population is going to migrate to the cities. So construction is inevitable. Extraction of material is inevitable. So what we need to do, we have to think about modern, efficient construction, modern, efficient materials, innovative materials. So those things are happening. As the first presenter said, even planning is very important. Sustainability is related to planning, safety is related to sustainability, everything is related. So whatever subjects you are discussing here is all connecting to sustainability of the humankind. So, which is the Dr. Renu talked about it, Dr. Shibu talked about it. Reni, I remember if Mr. Reni, he is not here now. I want to give him a business advice. His first customer should be Hyacinth Hotel. If you go and see the tap behind, at what force the water is flowing out of it, you can approach them immediately, get fixed your PCA on their pipelines. Okay? Concrete is the most used material after water. So we talked about water. Importance of water is known to everyone. But let us talk about concrete. Building materials are set to dominate the climate change. There is no doubt about it. 37% of the global energy emissions are from built environment. So as construction fraternity members, we are responsible in a way for a lot of carbon emission. So what actions we can take? I told about 1.5 degrees Celsius. This is very important, but actually, as he said, we have already achieved we reached almost 1.2 in 2 years back. So the way we are going right now, our target by emission target by 2050 is 420 gigatons. This is our target to keep this 1.5 degree limit. This is the maximum emissions the world can make by 2050. Just to show you where we are standing, we are going to emit 1325 gigatons of carbon emissions are going to happen. The way which we are going, we are all saying we are all very responsible, lot of sustainable actions are happening, governments are doing this, that, nothing is happening. Actually, we are the most irresponsible living being on the earth. That is the truth. Other animals are actually, poor creatures. We are the real culprits in the world. So let us understand that we are going to kill this world. Even dinosaurs, bigger animals than us, can die in the fury of nature, Mother Earth. This can happen to humankind also. But we have intelligence, so start thinking about it. Okay? Each and everyone's action should be for that. Now is the time to act. So I am going to present few points, few action points. See, we all discussed about the problems. Now I am going to give some proposals for some few actions which any one of you can take. That is the thing. It's very simple actions. A concrete user should do, a concrete designer should do, a structural designer should do. So communicate a carbon reduction goal. Unfortunately, in the world, only 1% construction is green construction as of now. You can see the statistics, only 1%. We are going to construct a size of Paris every week to accommodate all our human beings by 2060, right? So we have to construct size of Paris every week. So you know how much concrete is going to go in there, right? So what is to be done here? The government should make policies. Okay, there are a lot of policies. They have to specify. How many of the department, I know a lot of department people are here. How many of the government departments are having strict policies on carbon emissions? Nobody. Except maybe Indian Green Building Council is proposing something, but which department is having a serious target for carbon emissions? None. So as the last wordings of Renu's presentation, visionary leadership is missing, okay? But I hope visionary leadership is coming up in India. I hope so, okay? So in case you are serious as an owner of any project and you want to have a carbon goal, you should collaborate with designers, you should collaborate with your architects and bring in carbon reduction goals. Second point is to set targets for carbon footprint. I was working in Middle East for almost 24 years. Middle East, especially in Dubai, the government is very strict on carbon emissions. So they give, but I will say that is also happening in only 20-25% of projects, not on all projects. But at least they reach that targets. They give carbon emission targets for each building, okay? Each building which will be connected to the nationally decided targets. There are nationally decided targets for the carbon emissions. It will be connected to the nationally decided targets. Nothing like that is happening in India as of now. With my small knowledge, I am saying this. If somebody else can argue on that, they are welcome. So, have you heard about EPDs? Have you ever heard of EPDs? I think those who are working with environmental engineering, they must have heard of environmental product declarations. Each concrete mix used in certain projects, they are having an EPD, environmental product declaration, which gives you a report. It's a report of global warming potential of that particular product, okay? That particular product's global warming potential is being listed. If I am designing an M40, I should get an EPD in which I should say this is 250 kgs of carbon dioxide will be emitted by my product. So EPDs. So you need to do whole life cycle assessment. I hope, see, I don't have time to explain, what is life cycle assessment and all. So whole life cycle assessment is not being done in most of the projects, okay? In the life cycle of a project, how much carbon is being emitted? Nobody is looking into it, nobody is calculating it, but few projects are happening in that way. Third point, just to give you an example, this is a building, you can see various elements, foundation, basement, floors, column, shear walls. Each structure will have its own mixed designs, M40, M30, M50, whatever be the mixes. But if you know the global warming potential of each of my mixed design, you can calculate the total carbon emission from the concrete produced or used in that project. So that should be in par with the carbon budget you have. So this is the way we have to progress in controlling, in decarbonizing the industry. Ensure good quality control and assurance. Thanks to Mr. Freddy. He mentioned about quality control and importance of quality assurance, so I don't want to elaborate. But I will just say an impact of quality assurance, quality control on concrete mixed design. Usually, you know when you design a concrete, for the students over there, when you design a concrete, if you want M40, you are designing for, you are adding some target or margin to that, and you are designing for M48, right? You have a target mean strength of maybe 48. According to MORTH specification, Ministry of Road and this specification, what is the target is 12 MPa. That means if you want to design for 40, you have to design a 50 to 53 MPa mix. Okay? What is the implication? When you design for 53 MPa mix, you are using more cement. And cement is the 8% carbon dioxide emission, 8% carbon dioxide emission to the world is given by cement industry. So if you increase the cement, naturally you are increasing the carbon dioxide emission. So if you do proper quality control, in your batching plant, in your construction site, you can reduce the cement content naturally. That naturally reduces the emissions in a way. You should be going with good RMC suppliers who are very much qualified in making very optimal mixed designs. Ensure that test protocols are followed. You know what is the variation? A very good concrete can be produced, supplied, but there are a lot of variation, lot of factors varying the strength of concrete. One of the factors is the test methods. The test methods, preparation of samples, how it is being tested. All these things will lead to a lower results. And if you continuously get a lower result for your good concrete, what you will think, okay, my concrete is an issue, I need to increase 20 kg of cement. Okay? So test protocol. So why I am saying that? Approach a good lab. Employ a good lab. I'm just marketing for Martel Lab. Okay? So the fourth point is optimizing the concrete design. When you say optimizing the concrete design, as a structural, there are structural engineers over here, architects here, you need to optimize your design. You can reduce the size of the elements. You can do whatever optimizations you can do. You are the people who are going to specify the strength, specify the materials for the concrete. So you play a very important role. Optimize the concrete mixed design. Unfortunately, optimization of mixed design is not happening in Kerala, especially. I was doing it in Middle East, but in Kerala, optimization, in India, optimization of concrete mixed design is not happening to the extent, to the expected level, okay? Using recycling materials. Nobody talked about recycling materials. We should be using recycled materials in construction. IS 456 allows for recycled aggregates in concrete, but any of your department people or any customers or clients, they don't allow. They don't allow recycled materials because everyone is afraid of what will happen to the concrete. You should be leaving the concrete properties to the supplier or to the contractor. He is ultimately responsible for his concrete. I'll come to that point. Why I am putting this note allow for 56 days of strength in specific structures? Why the concrete strength of 28 days is taken everywhere, right? As reference, structural engineers. 28 days strength is taken as reference. When you do a multi-story building, you are doing a raft foundation. As far as I know, the raft foundation will take the full load only after the construction, right? You are not going to give full load to the mat foundation immediately. So why can't you design it for 56 days? Or why can't you design it for 90 days? Why I am saying this, I will tell you in the next slides. You can replace the concrete, the original concrete mix with a lot of waste materials. You can extend the strength development. When I say waste material, it's not a waste material. I will tell you that. I'm talking about SEMs, okay? So you can use, so you don't limit ingredients. Go for performance-based specification. That is what I said. You have to go for performance-based specification. Here, in this country, or most of the world, it is prescriptive mixed designs. Your customer, your government or your department will write minimum cement content 400, maximum water cement ratio this much. Don't limit. You should not be limiting any of these specifications. Specify supplementary cementitious materials. You need to specify. Fortunately, all our specifications from national level to government level, they are now specifying this one. But recently, when I talked to a railway project engineer, he said, I want only OPC. I want only OPC. When you use OPC, you are producing a ton of carbon dioxide emission, approximately. Okay? But he said, I want only OPC. So who is controlling them? What is our responsibility? We are saying that we are responsible people. We are not. We are not responsible people. So use all of them. Metakaolin, for example, metakaolin, there was a factory in Kochi, here itself, in Veli. They were producing it. English India Clay. Closed down. They are no more working. Okay, they were exporting metakaolin, which can be used as a replacement for cement. So we have to explore all those possibilities, which is not happening. SEMs, this supplementary cementitious material, GGBS, fly ash, they enhance sustainability by how they give you a durable concrete that will naturally extend the life of your concrete. That is how you will get a sustainable concrete. So that reduces the carbon emissions, okay? This is a simple graph. See, you can say 100% cement gives 600 kg per CO2. That is the global warming potential. Same time, when you replace 50% of that cement, you got 45% reduction in carbon dioxide emission. When you replace 70%, you got a reduction of 60%. So instead of 1 ton, say you only releases 40, say 0.4 tons, right? That's an approximation. So this much reduction is happening. This much reduction is happening when you use a supplementary cementitious material. These are the things you can simply do. Simply do. You don't have to refer to anyone. You can implement this, but you are afraid of. Many people are afraid of doing this. Use of alternative innovative cements. I don't know, Renju, I think Professor Renju, she talked about geopolymers, geopolymer cements. Okay, these are all initial stages of research happening on geopolymer cements. These type of cements should come up. Limestone calcined clay cement, LC3 cement. Have you heard about it? LC3 cement is in the development stage. In India, one of the factories, one of the cement companies converted their old plant into an LC3 cement factory. World over, only 10 to 15 plants are being converted to LC3 cement. I'll show you the next slide. See what is the impact of Portland slag cement. PSC. I was lucky enough, when I worked with ULCCS, I was lucky enough to implement a policy there to use PSC and PPC. They have officially announced that in all of their projects, they are going to use PPC or PSC. So that was a great change happened there, right? And hats off to them for this thing. If you see, this is the LC3 cement. You can see on the right-hand side, the clinker percentage is reduced to 50% from 95%. So there is a huge reduction of clinker. Clinker manufacturing is the main cause of energy consumption in cement industry. So LC3, those students who want to research on things, these are new research subjects. You can go on researching on such innovative products. Use of admixture, as you said, water reduction is very important. Water reduction is very important. Use admixtures. Luckily, most of the concrete manufacturers are now using admixtures, but side mixers are there. In India, I think only 15% concrete comes from RMCs, ready-mix concrete, and the rest of the concrete is being made in the site. So you know what happens in a site, what is the quality control, and what type. They only use, most of them use only water. There is no water reduction actually. So use of admixture is an important action to be taken. Sequester carbon dioxide in concrete. This is a new area where carbon is being injected into concrete. Carbon dioxide is being injected into concrete to sequester the carbon dioxide. These are under development. It's happening all over the world. If you go to carboncure.com, you will get a lot of information on that. I don't have time in this session to explain all of this. But naturally, natural process, concrete is absorbing carbon. There is a process called carbonation where the atmospheric carbon is being absorbed by the concrete, which is not a good action. It may lead to rusting and all in future, but carbonation is a process whereby carbon is being naturally absorbed by the concrete. Encouraging innovation. Innovation is very important. Encouraging innovation is very important. Lot of types of concrete is being produced in the world. New innovations are coming. So you have to encourage the innovations. You should not be keeping it aside. When somebody brings a new idea to you, take it, see the feasibility, how you can reduce the carbon dioxide emissions. So if I was not able to put everything into your brain right now, you may see this slide. That is a summary of it. If you want to click a photo, take it. Whatever I talk to you, all 10 actions are being listed here. Go home, read it. You can develop on it. And at least those who are sitting here can implement these actions, which I ticked green. Forget carbon reduction goals, forget carbon sequestering, forget everything. But these things are very simple. At least do it in your projects. You are going to do a good deed for the whole universe. Please do that. Thank you very much.